If you were a house, what kind of house would you be? A strong one, a broken one, a warm, welcoming one? Or would we be a very guarded house, where nobody can get too close and no one has any idea what's going on inside? Would we be one of those super extravagant houses on the outside that's a little cold and empty on the inside? Or would we be an invisible house, all alone, right in the middle of all the other houses? Whatever it may be, I think for most of us, we're okay with the very basic upkeep. Something breaks, we fix it. A paint job here and there, and maybe a new rug in the bathroom. And our house is good. Enough. Then there are those who are always working on home improvement. New kitchens, new floors, new additions. As far as their resources will take them, always trying to make their homes better. And this is good. But God isn't interested in home improvement, fixing some leak or a new paint job. He wants to tear the whole thing down and build a giant palace in its place. And not some cookie cutter McMansion type of thing, but something new, unlike anything else, that's still 100%. Now, this type of building is supernatural and requires supernatural construction and materials. We call these, and these resources are free and unlimited. And we're not going to like it at first, as all those old walls we put up have to come down. And all that mold is exposed in places we didn't even know existed. And we'll fight it and say, I'm not changing this, and don't touch that. And he'll say, but that has to go in order to make this more beautiful. And we'll think we know better and try to do the plumbing our way. And then a year later, the whole thing will explode, and they'll smile and say, this time, let's do it together. But eventually, through this relationship, we begin to trust. And eventually, we learn to let go. Until eventually, we leave the keys to the whole thing in his hands. We call this. And the work is never done, not even in a million lifetimes. It just keeps evolving, slowly and imperceptibly, becoming more and more. And the whole thing is built on a foundation that will never break, placed on top of a mountain to be a giant light. God isn't interested in just some nice house. He wants it to be perfect because he's moving in. The God of the universe wants his spirit to live in you, and you in him for all eternity. That is an intimate relationship. So he's waiting, even at this very instant, bags packed in his giant excavator, ready to break ground. But he's not going to touch a single thing without our consent.
Imagine yourself as... Okay, he's already repeating what he already said. So I have to say, I absolutely adored this video. It was incredible. The feng shui
If you were a
reference
house,
in the beginning, I I was quite jaw dropped. He starts by asking, "What kind of house are you?" It's very easy to tell since our reality is just a mirror of our vibration, which is just a mirror of who we are. Your house that you live in, whether it's in your name or not, but the place you live in right now, the conditions that you have, whether you sleep in your sister's couch, whether you have your own house, whether it's a company that rents, doesn't matter. But the place you have that you call home for the moment is a direct mirror of who you are as a person in this very moment. Just the same as your clothes, just the same as your car or whatever vehicle you use. It's all mirrors that exist. Even our relationships, everything mirrors our current state. So yeah, dependingly on if you are a more simple type of person, you have more the type of a simple house. If you are a more robust, more enclosed type of person, you have more a robust house. If you are this open person who is very warm and whatnot, you will get a more heartwarming house. The same if you have a house like this. I don't even need to know you. If I see a house like this when I pass the street, I already know it's somebody who's very closed off from the world. If it's somebody like this, they have learned to enjoy the pleasures of life. They live possibly also a bit too formally, but whatever. Yeah, then there are the vast majority of people that just are kind of invisible, but it is what it is. And then he goes on to talk about these fixing pipes and whatnot, um, painting and doing remodelings, some renovations, some upgrades. The thing is, independently of like money, no money, where did the opportunity come from? Was it from like these remodeling guys that are on TV and they offer the remodelings for people? It doesn't matter. If you attract an improvement of your current situation, whether you move to a nicer place with less mold, that's warmer, better insulation for the winter and for the summer, etc., it means you improved something within yourself. And we can go on, oh, this you have to renovate inside of you so that God can go live inside of you, blah 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 blah. This is all very theoretical. Oh, this palace, whatever. Who cares? You don't need to. You shouldn't be nice. You should be perfect, whatever, because that's he wants to live inside of you, so you must be perfect. I mean, this is all quite theoretical. We can see that from, for example, Joe Dispenza's work, and he has done measurements in labs with frequency and energy vibration measurement, which can tell that what you attract is defined by your heart, by how you feel. But you do send a signal for what you want when you think. If you think like, I would love to have a very understanding partner. I would have love for people to recognize my qualities in work, whatever. But then you feel incoherently from what you thought, then you receive kind of the opposite or something in between. If you feel coherently, as in you feel already happy, you feel content, as if you already have it, then you start to attracting it. So what we need to do in order to get a more beautiful house, as in a more beautiful life, because they are one and the same, is not through inner improvement. Oh, I need to change myself, I need to perfect myself, life is not enough, there is not something good with me, and I go to the church and I say to the priest, oh, I'm sorry, God, for what I did. I will try to do better next time. No, because we don't have freedom for how we feel, and we do have freedom to what we do with how we feel. But tendentially, it's a very minuscule freedom because it's not very easy to act in a righteous way, in a sort of Christian way, in a friendly, humane way, when your biology, your chemistry within your body is not in homeostasis. You can, but it's a huge struggle. And people go on these self-improvement courses, and they are told, yeah, just try better next time, you just make an effort. But why is it an effort? Why is it not easy? And that's what I found out, that feeling good and consequently being surrounded by amazing things, which is what everybody wants in the manifestation community, is a consequence of your how pretty, so to speak, how happy your gut biome is. And there are plenty books which will tell you how to make your biome happy. And I mean, there are plenty ways. But one way that works and will always work, and it's very simple, and you will memorize it just by hearing me talk about it once, which is to eat naturally. Think about it. If you are, like right now, in the winter, in the middle of the wild, which is our natural environment, like any other animal, we just domesticated ourselves, but we are as wild as any other. You just look around, and you might imagine you are just dropped off today. You might try some leaves, they are extremely bitter, you won't like it. And you were born into this world without knowing how to cook, so you can't really think about it, oh, let me just do something about it and spice it up and sauce it up so that I don't realize the actual natural taste. All animals except humans eat food in their natural raw form, and they just trust their instinct to what they feel like eating, and it works out for all of them as long as there is enough abundance. So you'll try some leaves, it's bitter, you don't like them. You try some roots, you find them bitter, you don't like them. You find some seeds, you try them, you don't like them. Because they're all bitter, they're all very harsh on your stomach, your digestion, you get a lot of bloating, etc. Then you might find some tubers, and it's okay, it's not great, it doesn't taste great, it's okay. And then you find some eggs, and you taste it. The clear is a bit slimy, so you might not have a preference for it, but the yolk is amazing, and you just want to find more and more and more eggs until you realize it was just 3 eggs. The next day you haven't found any more eggs. The day after that, still, I mean, eggs are sporadical in nature. But you think, what if I try tasting the bird itself? And you find a way to sort of trick it, and you taste the bird, you taste its flesh and its juices, the body, and you see that it's incredibly pleasant for your tastes. You feel great, you feel very content, and then you see a rabbit and you try it. It's even more pleasant. And then you find some ruminants, some elk, some deer, some cattle, and you see this is the best overall. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. And the fattier it is, the more great you feel, more energized, more alive. Your hormones start working better, start bringing you to homeostasis. And since you are in a natural environment, if there is a spring or something equivalent nearby, you'll drink water from there. If not, you just consume all liquids through the animal nectar, the juice, and you feel amazing. So what you can do in your home to sort of mimic that, so that you can achieve the palace, so to speak, is as simple as you open to Aldi, for example, or Costco, or whatever you have nearby you, and you go to the freezer. You get some ground beef. You open the packaging and make sure it's rosy. You don't want anything that is looking pale, as in like grayish, because it means it wasn't stored properly. But you don't want something deep red or even red either, because it has developed too much histamine from being aged in a locker room or whatever. And a lot of people are sensitive to histamine. So you make sure it's rosy. And then you bring it home, you put it in the freezer, of course, and before you go to bed, you leave one in the fridge at a sort of chill temperature. And it's going to be your breakfast. You leave some more out, maybe in the fridge, maybe one other outside the fridge, and whenever it's at room temperature, you eat some more. Whenever you feel like, you eat some ground beef. It has the protein, it has the micronutrient because it's raw. All the vitamins, all the minerals, all the compounds that would not be there and if you cooked it like most people cook. Because it is a complete product, it also has the fat. So protein, micronutrients, fat. It has low histamine because it was from the freezer. And then it has collagen. It has all the connective tissues which will feed your biome and will make it happier. You need the whole package in order to feel inner peace. And then you just buy some spring mineral water that you make sure you feel great in. Ideally, it should be not very high in chlorine, but I mean, we get what we get. And if you crave salt, then add some salt, whatever, as long as it's real salt. And you have to feel amazing. You have to feel incredible. And by feeling incredible, you start treating yourself nicer. And because you start treating yourself nicer, you start becoming more warm towards yourself. Your conditions around you, you get a new whatever blanket for your bed, your clothes change, somebody gives you a jacket, you found one some place that sells one, it's incredible and you like it and you have money for it, or somebody offers you, and things starts connecting. The dots start making sense. Everything starts to basically connect, to join. Everything starts clicking. All the things that you decided you'd like for yourself, and it was very clear in your mind exactly what you wanted for yourself, now you are getting them one by one, very little, because you've changed your vibration. You have to check Joe Dispenza's video to really understand this and to get a grip on the fact that everything that we attract, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, it always has to do with how we feel. And that's why I'm telling you how you can fix how you feel. I'm talking about the baseline. If a relative passes away, of course, you're not gonna feel incredible for a couple of days or whatever. I'm talking about the baseline. Independently of what happens that might make you very joyful, like some funny comedic movie or some relative passing away, your baseline should be neutral and possibly even with a sort of smirk, a sort of smile with your eyes, a constant feel good, I feel so good, I'm so content, something like that. Thanks for watching.